Hello students, Mr. Bastia is here. Welcome to Unit 2, Week 4, Day 18. Make sure you have your Meaningmapper, your article a day, and your book of knowledge, or at least paper and pencil to write with. Today we will learn about how tea was invented and have discussions about how this invention changed the world. Let's get started. What are some things that you eat or drink to feel better when you have a cold? Sometimes when I have a cold, I like to drink soup or tea. Tea. How does tea make you feel when you have a cold? Usually tea makes you feel better because it's warm, so the warm liquid just makes you feel a little bit better. So today we're going to talk about how tea changed the world. But before reading, let's go back to our focus word, invent. So the word invent is a verb or an action, right? It's an action word. But the word invention is a noun, so it's a thing. So here's an example of invent. I wish that someone would invent a car that could also fly so we can avoid traffic jams. In this case, invent is an action because the person wants to invent a car. Now let's look at invention as a noun. Which invention is the most interesting so far? In this sentence, invention is used as a thing. Which invention? So I want you to write a sentence for both forms using our focus word. One with invent and one with invention. So pause and do that right now. Okay, these are the ones that I would do. For invent, I would say, I can invent something new. I can. Haven't, but I can. Number 2, invention. My favorite invention is the iPhone. I love my iPhone. So that's my favorite invention. What is your favorite invention? Right, let's continue. Let's get started with our article a day. The title of our article is Tea. Share an idea on where tea might come from. So I'm not totally sure where tea came from, but I imagine someone smelled the plant and just thought, wow, this would be great in hot water. And that's how tea came to be. But let's find out. I think our article is going to tell us about where tea came from. Tea is a drink that was invented in China thousands of years ago. Many people believe the Chinese Emperor Shang Nong invented tea more than 4,700 years ago. Tea was invented in China just like paper. There is a legend, and a legend is a story that has been handed down from an earlier time. So there is a legend about how Shang Nong invented tea. He was boiling water in his garden, and a leaf fell into his pot of water. When he drank the water, he loved the taste. He also felt very healthy after drinking it. Shang Nong was a scientist, so he studied the leaf. He discovered that tea leaves could be used as medicine. Tea is now a popular drink in China and around the world. There are thousands of different kinds of tea. Have you tried tea before? When I was young, I didn't like the taste of tea. Now I like it, but what I really love is coffee. So I prefer drinking coffee over tea any day. So as always, I want you to take out your book of knowledge, and in your book of knowledge, I want you to write down 2 or 3 things that you learned from the article. So pause the video and take a moment to do that. As always, I'm going to go back into the article and find 2 things that I can write down in my book of knowledge. So the first thing I want to write down is that Emperor Shen Nong invented tea in China. So I'm going to write that down in my book of knowledge. I learned that Emperor Shen invented tea in China. The next thing I want to write down, I want to write down how long ago it was invented. 4,700 years ago. Oh, and look how Shen spelled. I hope I spelled it correctly. I also learned that tea was invented 4,700 years ago. That's a long time ago. This makes me think about the first time I tried tea. I think the first time I tried tea is the first time I went to Chile. They drink a lot of tea there, oh, so that's probably the first time I tried tea, I think. Lastly, I want you to look at your meaning mapper. In the middle, we have the word invent, which means to come up with something new. We've already added the words imagination, achievement, and genius to our meaning mapper. What's another word that's related to invent that you could add to your meaning mapper? I added the word change, because when you invent something, you change it. You could also make a big change with your invention, such as paper. Paper changed a lot of things, and so did tea. Lots of people around the world drink tea today. The last thing I want you to do is add the word change to your word wall. And that's it for me. Have a wonderful day, students, and I will see you next time.